Hi everyone, I really wanted to make a prediction video for the Grand Prix de France, but unfortunately I had so much work that I couldn't make a prediction video. But anyways, we are halfway through the Grand Prix, and even though I could make a prediction video, I am still going to do a recap video of what happened at the Grand Prix de France. Now, starting right off with pairs. So with the prediction video that I would have made if I had been able to find the time, I would have said that the battle for the gold medal would have been between Leah Pereira and Trent Machard and Sarah Conti and Nicolo Marci. And that's exactly how it played out. What I didn't see coming, because when they had their previous outing, they didn't look completely in shape, was the third place finish for Kamil Kolev and Pavel Kolev. Now pairs was a little bit of a mess. Ella Khan and Danny O'Shea had to withdrew after the short program because of a hard fall. Again, you guys know I am a huge promoter of health first in sport, especially in figure skating, where your body is being whacked against hard, solid ice. So every time a team decides to take time off, either to take care of themselves physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever the reason, I am a huge promoter of that. So I'm glad that Ellie and Danny decided to go that route to play it safe. Now for the top three pairs, starting with the bronze medal, Kamila Kovalev and Pavel Kovalev, the married couple. I love to see women and women figure skating. And I enjoy watching Camilla on the ice. This is an adult. This is a mature woman. This is somebody who knows who they are, what they're about. And seeing her on the ice in complete control is something that I'm really happy about seeing. And I was so happy that they did so well being at home on home ice. It's always for me even more difficult for the skaters to deliver because the pressure is that much more. But this is the best that I've seen them all season. I really didn't even have them on the podium for Europeans. I still don't know if I have them because Italy still has 3 teams. Germany still has 2. So I still don't know if they could do anything at European. But this was the best that I've seen them. And I was really happy to have them deliver on home ice and be able to take that medal. Then we had Sarah Conti and Nicolo Marcelli. They were coming in here as the favorite. And the pressure of coming into any competition as a favorite requires additional mind strength. I love the fact that, they're testing out their short program, which was his grandfather's wedding song. I think that's so sweet. And I think if they do decide to do this for the Olympic, it's going to have a good, feel to it, especially with them being in Italy. They look a little rough here. They looked a little rough. The jumps were not in sync. They've never had a good twist, in my opinion, and it has not improved. But then she's so tall, he's so tall. So that kind of explained why the twist is not that great. Because when Trent was with his other partner and they were both about the same height, you have the same issue with the twist. So whenever you have like pairs, partners of similar height, the twist is always a little off. So they don't have a great twist. Their jumps weren't quite on here, but they do have a very decent throw. It didn't work for them here at this competition, but for me, that is their best element. Even though they didn't have a great outing here, I don't want to count them off because I do feel like this is a very gritty team. And I feel like the problem with them coming into this competition was them being the leader, whereas they're probably one of those teams that's better at chasing than they are at being chased. So I feel like maybe at the next competition, the desperation will have set in and they will do a lot better. The winner here was, of course, Leah Pereira and Trent Machard. Again, this is not a team that has a wow element factor. Their twist is good, their throws are good, their side-by-sides are good, their lifts are good, but nothing is like amazing right home about. But if they continue with this consistency and everything is good and they manage to get one wow element, this team could definitely do something. They're definitely going to easily win the silver medal at Canadian National. I definitely think a top 5 at Worlds is possible for them. But if the other teams falter, they might even be able to snatch that bronze medal. Again, we don't even know what's going on with the Japanese, with Riku and Ryuichi. We just don't know. And if they can continue this consistency, this team has a lot of potential. Then we moved on to the men. The men were a mismatch of really good and really just all over the place. Starting off with Boying Zheng, he's such a likable person. Do I love his skating? No. Is it growing on me more? Yes, because you could see the effort is being made and he's coming back from so many injury. And I love the fact that, he's with Brian Orser and Tracy Wilson at the cricket club. That is a good environment for you to go to heal. And I think they're going to take it slow with him and try to build his stamina. You already heard Brian and the Kissing Cry saying you're doing more run through. So I think slowly but surely, the goal is probably not to medal this year or next year, but to be back at the bronze medal he was by the time they get to the Olympic at 2026. So it's really nice to see his building trajectory. Stefan Gugolev. I was so glad to see him do a clean short program. Again, this was a young skater that was touted as a prodigy. There was so much pressure put on him, and all of his focus was on jumps. And then he grew. He grew a lot. And then he lost his timing and his jumps went, and there was nothing there. And that is why I'm really happy to see what's going on with the next generation of male skaters. I do feel like the men are learning from their mistakes. They are seeing that if you do not have it all around, even when you have a quad axel, you will be beaten. You have to be an all-around skater. And especially in the coming up South Korean men, the young Japanese men, you see them trying to become well-rounded skaters, to have the jump and the technique skill and the technical skill, the skating skill, the performance. You see them actively working to become a whole package. And unfortunately for Steven, what should have happened for him in juniors, he now has to do in seniors. With the jumps not always being there for him, he now has to work on the skating skill, the packaging, the performance. He could have chosen not to do that, to give up, but he's putting in the effort in the fight. It may not be 100%, but he is putting in the effort. Then in sixth place, we had Luke Economidis. This skater is such a chameleon. He had like a hip hop sort of short program and then a Charlie Chaplin long program. This is a very interesting, very unique, very I love to perform kind of skater. And I like to see that. I like to see skaters with range. I like to see skaters who challenge themselves. I like to see skaters who are willing to try something new and grow and take themselves out of their comfort zone. So it was very interesting to see two such different programs coming from the same skater. Of course, I have to mention my baby, Kashiro Shimada. Oh my God, Kashiro. Oh, this has been since junior me and Kashiro have been on this ship, and I will sink with this ship because I believe it, guys. I believe it. I'm going to get one good season out of Kashiro Shimada, and all of my investment will be worth it. Again, it was another up and down outing for Kashiro. But I have faith. I'm keeping the faith alive. And then in our top 10, we had Camden Polkinen. This was a better outing for Camden than I've seen in a while. Normally he has a good short program and he completely blows the free, or he has a horrible short program and he fights back in the free. This was a more even outing for him, where neither one was great, but he didn't implode in either one. So for me, good outing for Camden. Lucas Brucci. I am a fan of Lucas Brucci. I'm not bothered by his take on the African dance. He's been to Africa. He appreciates the culture, and this is his way of showing the appreciation. You do you, Lucas. And he was bringing it. It's not like when certain people do Bollywood and it's the most dull Bollywood you ever seen, and you're offended on behalf of the whole of India because the Bollywood has no spice. Lucas was bringing the spice. He was invested. He was there. You could tell this is a music he enjoyed. This is a culture he appreciated. And he is slowly building. I am a fan of Lucas. This is another skater who has a unique point of view. He knows who he is. He knows what he wants to say. That's the kind of skater that I like to invest in. And then we got to the podium. The return of Yuma Kageyama. The purity of Yuma's jump technique, the lightness with which he goes into the air, the gentleness with which he lands, the knee bend, the ice coverage, the speed. And now he's getting more ice presence. He's getting more musical. That step sequence in the lower program, Yuma came for that step sequence. He gave you everything. Full body movement, arch of the back, extension of the knee. There was no knee that was hunched in an ugly position. Yes, his jumps are not where they were when he won silver at Worlds and silver at the Olympic. But so what? He is giving us everything else. His work with Carolina is obviously showing. To me, his programs, despite the fact that it's a watered down version of his technical, they were just beautiful. I cannot wait for him to be at 100% because he's going to be a contender. Then in second place, oh my God, guys, I for sure had already written Elia Melanin's name on that gold medal. I had already written it on that gold medal. It was a wrap. It was done. And I have to say, when he was put in first place in the short program, when he fell in the step sequence, I really wasn't upset with that. Because I know I harp on Ilya about becoming a well-packaged skater because he's predominantly a jumper. But again, I try to give credit where credit is due. For him being a jumper, his jumps are beautiful. There is a beauty to his jump. Again, he is a person that has a good jump technique. He's not hunched over. He's not hitting his hips, and his knees will probably survive post his figure skating career. The jump, that short program, every jump passage was beautiful. Whereas Adam struggled a little in his jumps, Ilya it was like nothing. And then for him to finish all of these difficult quads, triple axel, and then for him to do the step sequence, for him to lose concentration and go down. That goes to show you how difficult those step sequences are when you're really doing a level 4 step sequence, when you're not phoning it in. And again, Ilya is growing. We harped and harped about him being a one-trick pony, and they listen to us, and they're trying to get him to be more musical, more performative, more open, to pay more attention to the detail. He is growing, so I really didn't feel bad about him being in first place in, the short program. Come to the free. Yes, he could not have won. And the reason why is because Adam, I hear they're calling him Slay, Hemfa, came to slay. Ilya did a perfectly good program. There was nothing wrong with the program. But on that night belonged to Mr. Adam, Sion, Slay, Hemfa in the short program. he had a little difficulty with the jumps. They didn't come as easy as he might have wanted to. But Adam is such a cool skater, and I think that comes from his persona, who he is. And that particular program is so cool, but it's only cool because Adam comes off as a cool skater. From like the Star Wars, he's always had these really cool programs. When he did the Neo program, he just always picks music that suits him as an individual, and he's committed. And that's the thing about certain skaters. They are so committed to the program that is given to them that regardless of who the choreographer is, you begin to buy it because they buy it. And then that free program, it was like everything was effortless. He came, he slayed, he did the thing. There was no beating him on that day because he was so on. And I'm so glad that the judges did not do the expected political thing, but gave the win to the skater that outskated everyone else on that night. Congratulations, Mr. Adam. Can't wait to see you at your next competition. Then we move on to probably one of the most politically, the ice dance. There's so much political shenanigan going on in the ice dance. I felt really bad for Olivia Smart and Tim Dyke. This was, I do feel like they're beginning to gel as a team, but there's still, things to be worked out. Olivia and those Twizzles, we need to get them together. There was a little parts where Tim was shaky. They just weren't at their 100. But then again, they didn't even know they were supposed to be competing here. They thought they were going to have downtime. And then here they were. So for being what it was, they still did their best. But I still feel there is a lot of improvement that needs to be made with this team. But I also think they have the talent where they can make the improvement. Then, we had Maria Dupage and Thomas Nubas. I like this team. You guys know I like this team. They're this tiny little petite team. They're so adorable. They're so innovative. They're so talented. Again, of course, if they're innovative and talented, the judges are not really going to go with them because ice dance has a very specific look and very specific style that the judges like to reward, and this particular quirky team is not that particular box that they like to check off. But for me, this is a very talented team. And then, of course, Hannah, Len, and Kwan. You guys know I've been invested in this team since junior. Without a doubt, they have my favorite free dance of the season. I like the Prince rhythm dance. They do it really well. But for me, it is all about that free dance. The hair pull, everything. Hannah is eating up the ice and leaving no crumbs. She is giving us face. She's giving us everything and then some. And then Ye is always there. Always there to showcase her, always there to partner her. I am invested in this team, and they are slowly building. To finish top 6 in the free dance at this competition tells you how much potential they have. I cannot wait to see how well they do at 4 Continent. I cannot wait to see how well they do at Worlds. I am just so excited about international ice dance because there are so many young teams coming up. So usually in any of the discipline, once one generation retires, you have to wait years for the next crop to come up. With ice dance, the next crop is already there, knocking at the door, trying to kick the door to get these people to retire so they could be at the top of the podium. And I feel like Hannah and Ye are going to be amongst those leading the pack. And guys, I'm invested. I love that free dance. It is my favorite. I love it. Marie-Jade Laurent and Romain Lagat, another team that is unique, that is quirky. That Corpse Bride, I'm here for it. I am so here for it. Her dress, which was meant to make look like the zombie, so unique, so interesting. They have innovative lift. yes, some of their skating skill not quite where it needs to be, but the originality of this team, always, always, every season they come with something original and something entertaining, and I am all in for this team. Christina Carrera and Anthony Paramenko was fourth here. Guys, I was so invested in this team as a junior, and I want to be invested in them now because they're being coached by Scott Moyer. So I want to get on their train, but they're just very serviceable for me. I'm waiting for them to get that program that I'm like, wow, and I can get on the train. I'm not there yet. I'm not throwing them away. I'm just not on the train quite yet. The train is pulling into the station. I just haven't gotten on board yet. Then the bronze medal here, another medal for France, was Evgenia Loparova and Jeffrey Bessard. I am really starting to like their short program. It keeps growing on me every time I see it. It grows on me some more. First of all, they didn't do the atypical 80s thing, which everyone else did to death. They picked a couple of pieces of French music that's very unique, and they did that rhythm dance very uniquely. Then there's something so cool about their rhythm dance that's beginning to grow on me. The free dance is generically lovely. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't take anything away from me. But that rhythm dance, I really love that rhythm dance. And the silver medal here went to Laurence Fournier-Baudry and Nikolai Sorenstein. You guys know I love Laurence and Nikolai. Their first outing was a disaster, but this was so much better. Still, the rhythm dance, I wish they would take out the speaking part of the Top Gun, but everything else was wonderful. They look lovely on the ice. They look fabulous. I love everything about that rhythm dance except the spoken part at the beginning. They're such an easy pair to watch. They're so effortless and so sickly attractive. Like, good God, I know I'm shallow, but there it is. The free dance, the Esmeralda, it still needs some work. It's the Notre Dame. It needs some work. It still needs some work. It's not 100% where it needs to be. It's a good program. It could be a great program. There's still some work to be done here. Then finally, we got to the winners here, Charlene Guinard and Marco Fabri. I have admitted that their two programs this season is the best that I've ever seen them offered. Now, having said that, I don't understand where the judges found that extra 6 points to give to Charlene and Marco over Lawrence and Nikolai. I know the judges are not on Lawrence and Nikolai's side because they have lowballed them for years. But this is becoming absurd. There is no way that Charlene Guinard and Marco Fabri's rhythm dance was 6 points over Lawrence and Nikolai. Where are these judges finding these extra points that I cannot see? They were a lot closer in the free dance, which made more sense. Now, getting back to Charlene and Marco, this is the best packaging they've given me since I started watching them. I think right now there's still a solid bronze medal. I still think the battle for the gold and the silver is going to be between Piper and Paul and Evan and Madison. But they're solid in that bronze medal. There was a moment there where we thought maybe the British would snatch that bronze medal from them, but they've clawed back and now they're solid in that bronze medal position. Unless something extreme happens, that's what I'm seeing played out so far. And then finally we got to the women. Oh my God, why are the women always the most politically inclined, always the most dramatic? Good God, can't we just watch the skating and enjoy the skating? I want to start off with Kimi Rippon. I think this is a combination of pressure and growth. First of all, Kimi did grow quite a lot over the off season, and that has made her jumps a lot harder. She's not getting off the ice with the height that she needs to fully rotate her jump. And also, I think the pressure of being considered one of the favorites is also getting to her. So now she has to go back and not only recalibrate her mindset, but also try to become realigned in her own body. Both are very difficult things to do. And that's going to determine whether she's going to be a competitor that is a champion, or if she's going to be a competitor that cannot overcome her limitation. I hope she can overcome these two limitations, both the physical growth as well as her mental readjustment to being considered a favorite. So this was a very hard outing for her, but she fought through it. So I hope things only get better from here. Then we had Mona Shiba. Oh my God. I really, every time I see Mona Shiba out, all I can think of is Moran Honda, because Moran had all the potentials in junior, all of the potentials. And then I don't know what Hamada did. She got to seniors and couldn't quite get it together. And I see the same thing with Mona Shiba. She's so talented. She's so special. But she's just, it's not a skating thing. It's not a jump thing, because we know she could do it. We have ample competition of her doing it. It's a mental block thing. And that's either going to continue throughout her career or she's going to overcome it. I pray she overcomes it, because she is such a beautiful talent. And it would be a shame for her to not be able to fulfill all of her potential. Then we have Lauren Charles from France. She has the most wonky jump technique. How she lands her jumps, I have no idea. This is just the wildest jump technique I ever saw. But it keeps me at the edge of my seat, and it's exciting in the most weird possible way. I want to see what happens with this jump technique. And then we had Leah Serna. She could be a girthy jumper. She could be a girthy jumper, but you know, all of these girthy jumpers can't control their power. If Leah could learn to control her power, she could be a girthy jumper. And you guys know I am desperate for some girthy women jumpers in figure skating. I'm tired of these under-rotated, pre-rotated, tiny-looking jumps. I want some oomph to it. So she could be that if she can only learn some control. Then we got to the top 6. Oh my God. Anastasia Gabanova. I've said this numerous times. The judges do not like Gabanova. I don't know why, but they do not like Gabanova. I honestly thought Gabanova was going to form an alliance with Teamplushenko. Because honestly, that is 10 bonus points just lying there waiting. We all know the Ekaterina 10-point bonus is alive and well. So I thought for sure Gabanova would form an alliance with Ekaterina to get that 10-point bonus to get the judges on her side. She did not. I don't know if it's because Ekaterina doesn't want to work with her. I don't know what that situation is, but I was surprised to see Ekaterina not in that kissing cry with her. The thing is, again, Gabanova is a perfectly serviceable skater. Her jumps are good. Her spins are good. Her skating skills are good. There is nothing wow about Gabanova. Her packaging is not amazing. It's not bad. Her speed is not amazing. It's not bad. Her jumps are not amazing. They're not bad. She's a perfectly serviceable skater. But in most instances, the judges are willing to give boosts to serviceable skaters. And also in this competition, she did do a lot. She only did 6 triple-triples. She did poo-poo her triple-double-double combination, which did not help her. And then the judges were like, oh, you gave us an opening. We're not going to give you those PC scores. But guys, I think Gabanova is growing on me. She was livid in the kissing cry. Gabanova was ready to snatch those judges' ball. She was not having it. Her coach had to make several attempts to keep poor Gabanova in that kissing cry. And you know me. You know I like my skaters with a little spice. You know I like when my skaters are like, this don't smell right. And Gabanova was ready to tell these judges about themselves. And I was like, look at you, Gaba, look at you, growing on me and whatnot. But yes, poor Gabanova got buried from 2 to 7. That is harsh. But on some happier news, Wakabaguchi! I don't care what anyone says as far as I am concerned. Wakaba Higuchi was number 1 after the short program at the Olympic. The judges could cheat all they want. I know what I know. I know what I saw. And Wakaba Higuchi won the short program at the Olympic. I said what I said. I said what I said. And I could understand after what happened to her at the Olympic, why she was so exhausted, why she didn't want to have anything to do with figure skating in a while, and why she had to take the time off. But I'm so happy to see her back, and the skating skill is still there. The attitude is still there. The power. There is something about Wakaba that takes up the entire ice. When she steps on center ice, your eyes are focused on her. She is there. The short program, all Wakaba. That long program, I feel like Wakaba, her skating style, her speed, her power, doesn't really do well with these emo, ballady type of music. She needs something powerful, something strong, something she could sink her teeth into. It's not a bad long program. It's just, I feel like Wakaba has more to give. There's more there. But regardless of the programs, regardless of the jumps, just having Wakaba back on the ice is always a pleasure. Welcome back, Miss Higuchi. Thank you for coming back. Then in 4th place off the podium was Hyen Lee. So again, I guess this season, Hyen is not making it to the Grand Prix final, which I think may be a blessing because now she has more time to work, on getting herself together for 4 continent, and then also getting herself together for South Korean National, which is going to be a bloodbath, and as well as Worlds. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Hyen. I had Hyen in the prediction video that I didn't have enough time to make. I had Hyen Lee winning this event. Unfortunately, the jumps, she needs to get her rotations corrected. She's getting a lot of cues, a lot of under rotation calls. The jumps look a little shaky. That triple flip, triple toe in the short program, she barely squeezed that bad boy out. And then the triple double combination also was a no-go for her. I don't know if she needs to work on her stamina, if it's a mental thing. Again, she is one of those skaters who does better at chasing, at being an underdog, than being the one chased. And I think maybe the pressure of coming in as a favorite is also too much for her. But now that she has the time, she's not going to be in the Grand Prix. Please work on those under rotation. Please work, on your stamina, because we know Hyen Lee's going to eat that step sequence. We know Hyen Lee's going to give us some spin. We know she's going to give us some ice presence. She changed the dress for the long program. Thank you. I wasn't really feeling the ropey thing. I like this dress much better. So we know the packaging is going to be there. She just needs to work on the jumps, and now I feel like she has the time. Hopefully, South Korea won't decide to have like a bazillion little mini competition and exhaust their skaters out. So hopefully Hyen Lee can come back refreshed and really show us what she can do at South Korean Nationals, at 4 Continent, and eventually at Worlds. Now, our podium in 3rd place was Rion Sumiyoshi. This is what I want to see in a woman's quad. First of all, the short program, unfortunately, she popped the double axel, which was probably for her the easiest jump she could do, but it just didn't go her way. And unfortunately, that buried her in 5th place. And now she had to fight to come back from that. But that quad out of nowhere, it was unexpected, no pre-setup. She just poo. And you know it's a quad when you can count all 4 rotations in the air. That is how you differentiate a quad with the cheating jumps that we have been told was a quad up to now. A quad is you can count the revolutions on the air. If you could only count 3 revolutions in the air, that's a triple. If you could only count 2 revolutions on the air, that's a triple. If you could only, whatever revolution you can count in the air, that's what the jumps are. So when these girls go up and they do 3 revolutions in the air, 1 full revolution on the ice, and then the judges want to stuff that down our throat as a quad, that's not a quad. What Rion did in that free program where you could easily count 1, 2, 3, 4 in real time, that was a quad. That is how I want to see my quad. And Rion is a really nice balanced skater. Good skating skills, good spin, good jump technique, and the difficulty. Not all her jumps in the free were the way she wanted it to be. You could tell she's competitive. You could tell she wanted more than what she got. And I like that because she's hungry for it, which means she's going to come back at her next competition and she's going to go for that gold medal because she knows she needs that gold medal to make the Grand Prix final. I'm looking forward to see what she gives us at her next Grand Prix. In 2nd place, I didn't even have her on my radar. This was a surprise, and you know how much I love a good surprise in figure skating, especially in ladies, was Nina Pizzaroni. Oh my goodness, Miss Pizzaroni came for it. Short program, good jump technique, good spins, good speed, good presentation. A little underscore, but she did what she had to do. Was in 4th place. Came in the long program, the cleanest long program of the competition. Her jumps were foot perfect. There was no question of the rotations because you could count it in the air. Spins, all good. Ice presence, she still needs to work on that. Skating skills, she still needs to work on that. But you see the potential. You see where it's going. I'm so happy for her in this outing and how she did. Now, before I get to our winner, I would like for you guys to understand. I don't know Isabel Levido as a person. This is a child. This is a child trying to live her dream, and I have nothing against Isabel Levido, and I wish her the best. Having said that, and this is completely towards the crooked judges and the corrupt ISU. How she win this? How she win this? How? Explain this win to me, please. First of all, you guys already know, I think every jump passage that Isabel does should automatically get a negative GOE. I want this to happen for 2 reasons. 1, to force her and her team to correct her horrible jump technique. And 2, to discourage any other coach from teaching that horrible jump technique. How are her edges not being called? Because you know that child is on the wrong edge when she takes off for her flip. How are we not calling these edges? How is her being hunched over, looking bent over, being given positive GOE? How is these jumps with no flow, no ice coverage getting positive GOE? And she could, towards the second half of her long program, she could barely eke out her triple combination. How did they give this child this win? How? I'm really sitting here trying to understand. And then her spin, not only the 2 of her jump passages needed to have like -5, but then she completely botched her spin. And mind you, I think Isabel has a lovely spin, good position, nice ice presence. And that's what really hurts me about what's happening to Isabella Vito, because this could be a really good skater if not for that horrendous jump technique of hers, because she's got charisma, she has personality, she sparkles on the ice, her spins are really good, but the jumps, awful. And then she messed a whole spin. Now I get it. Isabeau is not unique. We know there were a lot of people who did not rotate their jumps, who were always on the wrong edge, and those people just did just well. They won medals, they won titles. We know there were times where they fell on their triple, and they were still in the top 4, top 3. Isabeau is not unique. What is being done with Isabeau is not unique. But that is the problem. That the ISU is still pulling the same nonsense that they pull decade after decade, year after year. And I feel like at this point, the skating community has to be like, can we stop this bullshit? Like, can we stop this bullshit? Because that child, at most, I would have had Isabeau third after that. I would have had her third after the short program. Because again, I would have given her jumps -5. But after the free program, I definitely would have had her third. Because Nina and Rion both have much better jump technique than her. So we really have to start holding these judges accountable, because this ain't making no sense. I understand that Isabeau is an anointed one and we want her on that podium. I get it. But at the same time, this is supposed to be a sport. And when things like this happen, it doesn't help the athletes. It doesn't help the sport. It doesn't help the fans, because they just make a mockery of everything. Okay. I guess we're going to say this is what it is. But even though I didn't get to make a prediction video, I'm still happy that I got enough time to make a recap video. So this is my opinion, and that is all it is, my opinion of what I felt happened at the Grand Prix de France. But you guys let me know. Let me know in the comment what you thought, who you thought, how you thought, and were you really hoping Gabanova went to snatch some of the judges' balls like I was, or am I the only one out here looking for violence? You guys let me know in the comments below.